This conference will now be recorded.
Good morning, guys. Ma, good morning. Guys, today class will go for the four terminologies. So the terminology, because to start the first application, it should have some terminology about the Spring. So today the terminology is like POJO classes. What is the POJO? Versus we have the POJI versus we have the Java Bean versus we have the Spring Bean. Different terminology. That's it. So today we'll get the clarity about these all the points. Okay. So what the terminology guys? POJO, POJI, Java Bean, Spring Bean. So that is the data basically. Got the point, right? Yeah. You go for the POJO class, guys. POJO full form is what? A plain old Java object. POJO full form is what? A plain old Java object. So if you take the Java class, guys, every day we are writing the Java classes, right? How you guys are writing the Java classes? Just you can take the normal Java class test, and you can take some properties. You can have some methods, right? You can have some methods. That is called, that is normally POJO class. No? The POJO class means the class which does not extends or implements any framework related class and interfaces. Any outside class or interface. No? The class which does not extends any other classes, does not implements any interfaces, and does not use the any what you can say annotations like framework related annotations and all. The class is called what? POJO class. In the core Java, we are writing the classes, right? Java specification, Java rules. In the core Java, what we are defining, just you are defining the class test, you are taking some private properties, public properties, protected properties, and you're taking some methods, some constructors, right? That class is called POJO class. The core Java classes, are you extending any other classes here? No, just the plain old Java object. The normal Java class, we can call it as a POJO class. For example, if you take the class cat, that's what a cat. The cat contains something like int. Tell me guys, the cat properties. What the cat contains the properties? Tell me. Cat name. So the cat name, string, the cat name and the cat type, string type of the data, something like this. So the cat class, the class is does not extend any other classes, right? This class is called which class? POJO class. The plain old Java object doesn't have any restrictions, any specific rules. Just you can write follow the Java normal syntax rules, right? Java specifications. So because what a POJO class tell me? Plain old Java object that is also known as a POS. It's a regular Java object. It's a regular Java object with no special restrictions other than Java conventions. Generally, we have Java conventions, right? Java convention declare the class, declare the properties like that. The class is which class? POJO class. We got the point, right? Yeah. So what the first point you got to tell me? The POJO class is a what a full form of POJO class? Plain old Java object. It's a regular Java object. Yes. Ma? So it's a plain old Java object. It's a regular Java object. There is no special restrictions on that. Just we have to follow rather than what Java conventions. A POJO is not related to any specific technology and all. Just use a rule. So POJO is not bound to any specific kind of framework. Any Java program that can use it to make the code reusability, right? To make the code reusability. To make the code reusability, right? Exactly. Today our topic is what about POJO, POJI, Java Bean, Spring. What the POJO full form is what? Plain old Java object. So do you have any special restrictions on this? There is special restrictions on the POJO. Just it has to follow some Java conventions. The POJO class means what? The class. The POJO are the rules, guys. The rule one cannot extend any other classes. The rule one is what? POJO rules. POJO rules are cannot extend any other classes. Cannot extends. Tell me, cannot extends what? Any classes. Cannot extends any classes. Number one, and it cannot implement any interfaces. Cannot implement what? Any interface, right? And the rule three is what? It cannot use any the framework related what annotations. Cannot use what any framework what related what we can say framework related. Annotations, right? Annotations. Three things. Cannot extend any classes, cannot implement any interfaces, cannot use any framework related annotations, right? The class is which class now? POJO class. POJO class doesn't have any restrictions, specific restrictions, and just it follows Java conventions, right? Is POJO belongs to any framework? No, it's the standard simply. With the point, right? Yes. Because I can take the class what a class name of cat in the age of the cat, string what name of the cat. This is called which class POJO class. Guys, case one. What the case one? It is a POJO class or not? It is a POJO class because it is not extending any class interfaces. Not extending what? Not extends any classes. It is a POJO class because not extending any classes and what interfaces and framework related annotation, right? Yes or no? Framework related related what annotations. The case one, guys. If you take the case two, class cat. Cat contains like name and age. Yes, cat contains what? Name and age. Yes, but here cat extends like animal. Then this is a POJO class or not? No. Extending any other classes. Animal is basically same class, maybe other class, right? So it's a POJO class or not POJO class, ma? It is not POJO class. It is not POJO class because it extending what? Tell me, because what? It extends other class, right? Other classes. Get the point, right? Yes. If you take the case three, you can take the class cat, which implements one interface like which implements the interface like make noise. It's the interface. Then it is a POJO class or not? Definitely, it is not a POJO class. Tell me, it is not a POJO class, right? Because tell me, because it implements the hmm, implements the other interface, right? Exactly. You know POJO already. POJO coding is POJO, but you should have some people are asking lately POJO means you get confusion. That's what. So basically it's a POJO class, not extending any classes, any interface, and what any framework related what annotations, right? Second one is what it's not a POJO. Third one is what it's not a POJO. And if you take the case four, I have the cat class. I have the class is what cat class. As we have the JP related hibernate annotation. So basically, technically it's JP annotation. At the rate entity annotation is there. At the rate what? Entity annotation. At the rate entity annotation is what is related to the framework, right? Hibernate. Technically it's like JP, but it's basically hibernate. So then the fourth one is which is a POJO class or not a POJO class? It is not a POJO class because it uses what? Hibernate annotation, right? What annotation name? At the rate entity. It is not a POJO class because tell me guys, it implements. Tell me, it implements. Sorry, it uses what? Hibernate and framework annotation, right? Framework, framework annotation. What a framework annotation? At the rate entity, right? Exactly. Okay, that is called your POJO class. The POJO class, tell me guys, POJO class is a plain old Java object which doesn't have any specific restrictions. Just we need to follow Java convention. Just you know the first point me. POJO is a what the full form of plain old Java object. It cannot. It don't have any restrictions. First of all, any restrictions are there? No restrictions, but it should follow some Java conventions. And POJO is specific to any technology, any framework, or it's a standard? It's a standard. It's not related to any technology and frameworks. And just for the it's a standard to make the code reusability and what readability. What are rules we need to follow? POJO rules cannot extend what any other classes, cannot implement any interfaces, cannot use any framework related annotations. Got the case one, case two, case three, case four, right? That's the point, guys. Very normal basic class. Let me take go to file menu, click on the new. Let me create the Java project. Java bean. Just you can write the POJO, Java bean, something like this. Just click on the next, click on the finish. So it's normal Java class. Just you can take the new. I want to take the class. The class name is what POJO. That is what I have POJO, right? Exactly. Guys, just this is a POJO. Click on the finish. Yes, this is the POJO class. Because it contains any properties, man, not only public and private directed, any properties it can have. Because private, tell me guys, for private string name, private string name. Next one is what? Public, public what? Int age. Okay, protected, protected what am I? Double name, age, and what? Height. Get the point, right? There is no restriction in the properties. It is not extending or implementing any interface. It is not using any framework related annotations also. In this class is called class ma POJO class. It can have any methods. For example, let me take the toString method. In Corejava, we know the toString method return type is what? String. So now toString method return type is what? String. The toString method is automatically executed when you print the reference variable. When you print what ma? Reference variable, right? Exactly. Yes, let me return something like name and plus some age plus next one is what? Height, right? Exactly. Okay, this is my POJO class. That's it. Very clear. It can have the constructor also, but I'm not having any constructor here. Just this is like POJO class, right? Guys, you can take the class main test class. In the main test class, we have the main method. Tell me, we have the main method. In the main method, just you can create the object of which class, POJO class. POJO equal to what? New POJO. You can create the object and you can call what? POJO dot. Let me print that POJO reference. Without control space, let me print what POJO. When you print the POJO, then what happened here? I'm printing reference variable, right? When you print the reference variable, then what happened here? ToString executed, return the data, right? Exactly. Because that class is called POJO class, right? I simply run this code. We got the output is what? Why you are getting output is 1020. Right click, run as Java run configuration. Which project you are going to run now? Main test file. Yes. Click on one, run. Yes. Guess you get the output right. For the output null because default value is right. Name default value is how much null. Age default value is how much 0. Height default value is how much 0.0. Because I didn't assign any value. If you want, you can assign the value. Name is what? Something like okay, you can write the Stravia. So age is what? 7 years and height is what? 3.3, something like this. You simply can run this code. We got the corresponding details. Name, age, height. Okay, this class is called which class POJO class. We got the point, right? That is a POJO class. Read the points once. You guys will read the point once. POJO full form is what? Plain old Java object is a regular Java object. Is a regular Java object. Tell me guys, it's a what? Regular Java object. Do you have any specific restrictions on this? No specific restrictions. Rather than Java convention. Other than Java conventions, right? POJO is not bound to any framework. It's like Java. It's a any Java program can use it. The POJO term is introduced by Martin Flo. Martin, what's the name here? Martin? Yeah, he's American software developer in 2000. Is available from the Java from the EJB 3.0 by Sun Microsystem. Definitely it means Sun Microsystem, right? Java means Sun Microsystem. What the rules we need to follow, ma? Cannot extend any classes, cannot implement any interfaces, no outside annotations. Outside annotation means framework annotations. What the point is, POJO can have the zero argument constructor, can have the fields that have the visibility public, private, protected, default, any methods. The field can be accessed using their names also. Just like Corejava class, right? Just like what? Corejava class. But the case one, guys, cat name and age. This is a POJO or not? Tell me, it's a POJO or not? It is a POJO because what it is what not extending. It is a POJO, guys, because it is not extending any classes, not implementing any interfaces, not using outside annotations, not using what outside annotation, right? Exactly. Yesterday party, huh? Drink a cool drink. Class cat ma. This is like which class ma? Pojo class. Second is what? Tell me. It is not a POJO because it is extending what? Animal. Animal is outside class, right? It is not a POJO because LBR because it is extends outside class. It's using or extends outside class. Using in the sense what? Extending or using both the same, right? Yeah. But the case 3 guys, it is not a POJO class because it is implementing outside interface. So no. What are case 4? Tell me the case 4. What is case 4? It is not a POJO because it is not a POJO because it is using hibernate later annotation, right? Uh, I think you got some idea about what is a POJO, right? That is a POJO, guys. So if you take this one also, the example, the POJO class, it's a class example is there, example servlet is there, which extends HTTP servlet. This is a POJO or not? In servlets, we talk about this, right? Is a POJO or not? No. Why? Because it is extending what HTTP servlet. Logics here you can write. So, no, yeah, it's not a POJO class. And that we can take the example POJO. Is it not a POJO because it is implementing what? Interface, right? Yeah, this is example bean is there. Example example is there. It implements which interface ma? Entity bean. Entity bean is the framework related data. It is the POJO or not? No. Yes, or no? That is the data, guys. Is it clear now? That is the information. Yeah. This is like logics here you can write here logic also you can write, right? Exactly. Just make sure that the POJO is a the POJO class. The POJO class can have what? Tell me guys, can have what constructors. So you can have what constructors. The POJO class can have the fields, any type of fields. The POJO class can have what? Tell me here, the POJO class what? The POJO class can have any type of fields, any type of fields in the sense like public field, private fields in the sense. What? POJO class any field means variables. POJO class can have any type of fields or properties. Fields means variable, properties also variables. Got the point, right? Yes. And the private public field, private field, protected field, like this, right? Exactly. The POJO class can have any methods. POJO class can have, what you can say, any methods. At the point, right? Any methods. The POJO class can have the constructors. The POJO class can have any properties. The POJO class can have any methods. The POJO class properties can be accessed. The POJO class properties. Properties means what, amma? Wait, properties and variables. The POJO class properties can be accessed using property name also. Property name also. You feel that definitely it is like normal Java class, right? It's normal Java class, but it cannot extend what any other classes or any other interfaces, and it doesn't use any annotations. Exactly, you're right. You get the point, right? That is a plain old Java object. It's plain old what? Java object, right? Exactly. Yeah, just I written the POJO class main test. I'm creating object like this. Are you clear about the POJO, right? The term POJO. The term POJO is clear? Yes. The same way, the term POJI, the same process. But the term POJI full form, tell me. Plain old what? Plain old Java interface. Plain old Java interface. Coming to the plain old Java interface, has the same rules. The interface does not extend or implements what? The interface can extend or implements only extends. Interface cannot implement, right? Yeah, that is called plain old Java interface. Get the point, right? Yes. Yes, I can take the interface greeting. Interface greeting is what, Amma? Which is called tell me, yaar. It is a plain old Java interface, Amma. The interface does not extend what, Amma? Any other class, any other interfaces. That's called plain old Java interface. Plain old Java object means class. This is like POJI means what? The plain old Java interface. The interface. Tell me guys, the interface what? Does not extends what? Any other interfaces. Any other interfaces, and it will not use any framework led annotation. It will not use what? It will not use any. Tell me here, it will not use what? Tell me speak out any framework related annotation, because this annotation cannot extend any classes, because annotation can extend annotation only. Yes or no? Annotation can extend what? Oh, yeah, annotation can extend only annotation, right? Annotation can extend what, only annotation. You got the point, right? That is information, guys. That this is like interface greeting. This is a case one. It's a POJI or not? It is a POJI. Hmm. Because tell me guys, because it is not extending. It is not extends any out, outside interface, right? Any outside interfaces, and then and it is not using. Uh, it is not using, tell me guys, any okay framework related annotations. This is a point, Amma. Very clear, that's it, Amma. Case 2 is what, Amma? Just let me take the interface greeting only, which extends Ratan greet. Another interface is there which extends what, Amma? Ratan greet. And then this is like POJI or not? It is not POJI. It is not POJI, right? Because tell me guys, because it is it is extending. It is extending what, the outside interface, right? Other means outside, you can say simply. It's extending what, outside interface, right? Interface. Guys, that's enough, guys. Interface means basically we have the data. That's it. We cannot create the object for the interface also even, right? Yeah, this is called POJI versus what, POJO. So you got the point, any questions? Total how many points, POJO. Second one is what? POJI. Next one is what? Java Bean. Last one is what? Spring Bean. You got the clarity about what is a POJO, right? What is a POJO, ma? POJO is a plain old. Speak out, speak out. Online people, you are listening, any questions? Sometimes try to respond, yeah. Plain old Java object, also known as what, POJO. It's a regular Java object with no special restrictions other than Java conventions. POJO is not bound to any framework. You got the point, right? POJO is given by Martin Florent. Martin Flo, Martin Fleur, pronounce yours. Okay, in 2000 year, in which year? 2000 year, right? We are listening. Yes, very good. Rules are clear, right? Cannot extend any. You cannot extend any outside classes. Can I use that term like outside classes? Term? It cannot extend any outside classes. It cannot extend any outside interfaces. It uh, cannot use. Tell me guys, cannot use any outside annotation. Outside means what? Outside only. Yes or no? Yeah. Outside is correct term. That is outside class, right? Definitely. No, it's not a POJI. So it doesn't extends anything. Doesn't extends anything. Any see animal. It may be like same package, maybe different package, right? If it's a different package means what, definitely outsider. Then this model depends on that, right? Again, dependency is there. But POJI means what? Plain old Java object. It doesn't have any restrictions, and it cannot extend any outside class and outside interfaces. Outside in the sense, it may be your classes, it may be framework classes. So you're using scan like you're using some entity class. Entities belongs to your package outside in the sense some of the different package. Different package means we need to import even you assume like you're using other module animal class. That is your class or different class? Different class. Again, we need to import, right? Like that. Yes, pose and pose is clear. Yes. There's a pose on what am I? Yes, next one is what Java Bean class. This is for us important. Yes, Java which class ma Bean class. The Bean class, that setter methods, setters, getters like that. Setter methods and what are getter methods. The first point, the Bean class must be public class. Then only can other people can access, right? The Bean class must be what? The Bean class must be the Java Bean class. The Java Bean class given by EJB technology. Given by what? EJB. I told you, right? Before Spring is used to design which applications? Which applications? Enterprise application, right? Before Spring, what we are using? EJB, right? Exactly. The EJB, the EJB, these Java beans are given by EJB. The Java beans are given by what? Given by EJB technology. The Java bean is which class, amma? Public class. The class should be what, amma? Public class, right? Exactly. At that point here, let me write again. The class is what? EMP bean. The class should be which class, amma? Public class. At a point, right? The class should be which class, amma? Public class. Number one. Number two. So the class should implement the interface like serialized interface. So in the distributed applications, we need to serialize the object to transfer the object between one layer to another layer. The class should implement what, Amma? The class, tell me guys, should implement. Tell me guys, the class should implement switch interface, Amma? Java dot io dot. This is a io dot serializable. Providing which capabilities? Serialization capabilities. Okay, that's the second point. Get the point, right? Yes. The first point, Amma, the Java Bean class is given by EJB framework, EJB technology. It's part of JEE. And the Bean class is what? Public class. And the class should implement what, Amma? Serializable interface to serialize the object between the layers. And point number three, the class contains private properties. A POJO class contains any type of properties, but Bean class have some special restrictions. A POJO class can have what? Any properties are private properties are? Huh? Any property. Ah. The bean class contains what, Amma? The private properties. We have the restrictions on the what you can say properties. Outside people cannot access our properties directly, cannot modify the data. But POJO class that can be modified. Any other class can access our data, right? By creation of object. The class the Java Bean class contains what, Amma? Contains which properties, Amma? Private properties. It means we have the restrictions on these properties, right? The Java Bean class contains what, Amma? Private properties. So for that point, let me take some properties. Private string employee ID. Private string what? Employee ID. Next one is what? Tell me guys. Private string employee name. Tell me guys. Tell me private string what? Employee salary. Every point I'm writing, I'm implementing here. Right, the first point, tell me the bean class must be public class. The class should implement such interface ma serializable interface. and it contains what private properties. Private properties means we have the restrictions on the scope, right? So other people can access it, cannot access cannot access. They cannot access our properties directly, cannot modify the data, cannot modify the data, right? The point is, what's the point? Tell me.
Public getter setter.
We need to get the data and set the data. We need to write the public setters and getters. Public hmm, the class contains the class. Online people while listening the class, if you feel attention, hmm, are you guys are eating something? In our class, one student is there. Yojita, in our class, one student is the Pravalika. She is today morning. She is saying one thing. Sir, I am feeling today. Last night we didn't sleep. She attended party, some party function. So today morning she bought like grapes. She's saying that her I will eat the grapes while listening the class. uh, Online people, you guys are also doing same, huh?
No, sir.
No.
No, Govardhan. It is evening here. Evening means you can take the snacks. Hmm? No, Rahel, our students are very dangerous people. She's from US. Hmm. She's from US. Good. The bean class is clear. For the bean class, tell me the Java bean class contains. Listen. Public class, it implements. It should implement the serializable. It has the private properties. The class contains what? Public setters and setters and what? Getters. Setters purpose is what? Setters are used to set the data. Setters are used to set the data. Tell me guys. Getters are used to get the data. Some people they're asking they're calling like setter methods, mutator methods. If anyone is asking that question, last one of the guys faced the interview. Do you know mutator methods? You don't know. You know setters, but you don't know mutator methods. The terminals is different. Setter methods also known as which methods? Mutator methods. Mutator. What are getter methods also known as? Getters. Getters means what? Access the data, right? Access our methods. Mutator methods and what? Access our methods. Point, right? Yes. Because you got the clarity or not? The class contains what properties? Public set, private properties and to set the data, get data, setters and what? Getters required. One guy is asking last class. So setters and getters are predefined methods or user defined methods? Setters getters predefined methods or user defined methods? It's user defined only. 100 people also you can write the same setter, same syntax, same getters. Standard, that's a standard. It's not like predefined. It's a predefined a standard. Standard. Got the point, right? Can I write that point also? Setters and what getters are user defined methods. User defined method means we are writing the data. Can I write one setter method? But setters use it to what? Set the data. The syntax for the setter is the syntax for what? Setter is guys in the Spring class, Spring Boot class, frequent I write the setters, getters, bean class, POJO, POJI, Spring Bean. Like that, I use a term. Everyone should have the clarity about all the points very clearly. That's what we are going for very clear. But the syntax is what set x method. Here x equal to what property name. X equal to what property name. Get the point, right? Let's can write, let me write one syntax for one setter method. Setter means what? We are setting the data, getting the data, setting. Return type should be void. Setter type should be what? Void, right? Setter method. Setter method. Return type should be void because we are setting the data. Because we are setting what? Data, right? That's what return type should be void. Public void. I told you syntax is what? Set x. X means what? Property name. What the property name here? ID. Can I write the ID like this directly? No. Method name coding conventions we should follow, right? What the method name coding conventions? Method name starts with what? Lowercase. Priyanka, very good. You are very good, Amma. You have the talent. Method name starts with what? Lowercase. Inner word starts with what, Amma? Uppercase. That's what set EID means what? E capital. The syntax is set x. Set x means what? X is a property name. Oh, x is what? Property name. That's what. You don't write set EID means set EID like this. Method convention is there now. What the methods convention? Method name starts with what, Amma? Lowercase. Inner word starts with what, Amma? Uppercase. That's what set EID. The setter method means what? We are setting the data. Setter means what? Setter means setting the data. Setting the data means what? You should have the argument, right? Sarma, yes. The setter method should have the setter method should have the argument. Have the tell me are arguments. Argument because you are setting one value, one setter setting one value, multiple values. One value. That's what arguments are. Argument. The setter method should have the argument. That's what type of argument you are setting? ID value. Yes, but the setter method argument is what? Which variable? Local variable, right? Setter method argument is which variable? Local variable. Convert this local, assign this local value to which value? Instance value. How can we do that? This dot eid equal to what? Eid. Why this dot eid? This dot eid is an instance variable. Eid is what? Local variable. We are assigning that local variable to which variable? Instance variable. That is a setter syntax. Setters and getters are predefined methods. User defined methods are user defined methods. One property contains one pair of set and getter. One pair means what? Set and getter. Okay. One property contains what? One property means variable. One property contains one pair of what? Setter and getter. One pair of what? Setter and getter. This is a setter property. Setters are used to set the data. Setters are also known as which methods? Mutator methods. Syntax for the setter is what? Set. Tell me, syntax for the setter is what? Syntax for the setter is what? Set x. Sorry, set x. X is nothing but what? Property name. Yes, x is nothing but what? Property name, right? Exactly. The setter method return type should be void because we are setting the data. There is no return type. The setter method should have the argument. The setter method argument is which variable? Local variable. Local variable. So convert, assign the local value to, tell me, assign that local value to which variable? Instance. That's the point. This one, right? Exactly. Java private properties and these are static properties and non-static properties. A bean class always should contain these are what? Non-static properties. That rule is important. You don't take the static variable again. The bean class does not contain a static variable because bean is object. Object means only which variables are bound with the object, instance data. Static is bound with the object, class. But this is a bean class object. That's what only we have to take the static and non-static. Exactly. Okay, setter is syntax. Everything is clear. Setter is clear. Yes, this is what you can say, guys. Setter method. Setter. Tell me our setter method information. Setters are used to set the data. These are also known as what, Amma? These are also what, Amma? Also known as what, Amma? Mutator methods. Syntax is what, Amma? Set x. X equal to what? Property name. The setter method return type should be void because you are setting the data. And the setter method should have the argument because setting the value. And that value is what the setter method argument is which variable, ma? Local variable. So assign that local variable to variable, ma? Instance. Exactly. Clearly documented, right? Somewhere. Then write the getter method. Tell me guys, you people tell me the getter method syntax. I don't know. You have to tell all. Then I'll eat grapes now. I'm eating grapes now. You please tell me. Getters are used to get the data. Mm, these are also known as what? Very good. First point is completed. Second point is what? Tell me the syntax. Get x. Get what? X. Set x. Get x. X is equal to what? Exactly. Property. Yes. Property name. Please tell me. Getter method means what? We have to get the data. Getter data means return type is a void. Getter data means the what is the return type then? I am getting the data. I'm getting the data. I'm getting the data means then what is the return type? Then tell me.
Data type
Yeah,
of the property that we are trying to get.
it should be property type, right?
Yeah.
It should be what? Property type. Let me write the point or the point.
String.
The getter method return type is. Let me guess. Return type is which type, Amma? Property type. Return type is a property type. We are getting the ID. ID is what type? Integer type. Then return type is integer type. So no, yeah. Let me write the point. Uh, the class contains public setters and getters. Setters and getters are predefined user-defined methods. Let me go for the getter method syntax. Tell me guys. Public. Return type is what, Amma? Property type. Property type means I'm getting first one is what? Hey, why I'm taking all the strings? Int ID. Then why you are not saying that time? Sleeping, huh? Maybe some I written the string. Why string all? We copied from somewhere, huh? No, sir. No, sir. Then why you written string then? You're concentrating on concentration on grapes, huh? Online people, you guys have not responded. Why? Can you share the grapes too now? You come to India, I'll show you definitely, Yodita. Yodita and come to India, we will share it. Plan India, Yodita, one time. We will have a great party and we will celebrate spring classes. Public void property type. What a property type? Int. Public int. Get get what? EID. Any argument is there? The getter method, no argument, right? Tell me at the getter method, no argument. The getter method, no argument, because it returning the data. Yes, it returns what? Returns the data, right? It returns the data means any argument is there? No argument. Leave it. Then you should return the value using return statement. The getter method return the value. Tell me guys, the getter method return the value using what? Using what, using return statement. Using which statement, return statement, right? Well, I clearly document this all the points, see, next time when you write the setters and getters, you should have a complete idea. Again, don't ask set to y x capital y get capital. You should be very good understanding about this point. Return what ama? EID. That's a data, guys. That is a getter and setter methods. My God, you written too many points. Previous classes only setters, getters. Write the code. But here, very good documented. Why I need to upload this video in YouTube? Somewhere. Brain. Because purpose is different means making is different. Clear? They make that point. Guys, you got the point, right? There is setters and getters. Guys, can you please tell me the setters and getters for the employee name, Priyanka? First was setter for the employee name. What is setter, ma? Public. Tell me. Public. Void. Setter means void. Set e name, and the argument should be there, na? Because setting the value. Setting the value means what? String e name. Definitely argument is required, but this is which argument? Local argument. Convert that local argument to which argument? Instance. This dot what am e name equal to e name, like this. This dot e name equal to what? E name, right? Get a pointer. Then get a method. Tell me. Public string get e name. Any argument is there? No, because getter method no values you are giving, you are getting the data. Getting the data means what? Return statement. Return what ama? E name. Very good, you are very good people. One more, say one more property values last one. Public void setting the data. Set what ama? Is salary. Set what? Is salary. There will be an argument. Setting the data. Setting the data means what ma? Double what ma? Is salary. Convert that local value to what ma? Instance. This dot is salary equal to is salary. Got the point, right? Getter method, tell me last. Public getter method. Getter method means return type. Getter means always what? Return type. What the return type ma? Double. Get is salary. Get G capital small r, because the method name starts with lowercase. Get is salary. Okay. Then get means what we need to return. Return what ma? Is salary. That is the bean class here. I think you clearly understood what the bean class, right? The bean class must be what ama? Public class. The bean class must implement should implement a serializable to make the layer configuration to transfer the object between the layer to layer. Next one is what? Next one is what? The bean class contains private properties. These are static properties, non-static properties. Non-static property, right? Exactly. Why implement serialization concept? It supports the serialization, transferring the data between the layers. Transfer between the layers, right? Yes, you got the point, right? These are getters and bottom setter methods. Syntax is very clear now. And one last point is there, ma. And the private properties are there. This bean class should have the zero argument constructor. Don't forget that point, ma. The first rule is what, ma? The class should be public class. The class must implement should implement what, ma? Serializable. Third one is what? Private properties. And the property should be non-static. Fourth one is what, ma? Public setters and getters. Here, setters and getters is the main point. Setters and getters are predefined, user defined. User defined. One property contains one pair of setters and getter method. If application contains 10 properties, means what? 10 setters and what? 10 getters. You want me to write that point? One. Exactly. Next one is what setter method. Setter method means what? Setters methods used to set the data. This is also known as mutator methods. Syntax is what? Setx. Setter method return type should be void because you're not giving any value. You're setting the value. Setter method should have the argument because you're setting the data. The setter method argument is which variable? Local variable. So assign that local value to what? Instance, right? Exactly. The last one is what? The bean class contains a zero argument constructor. And the bean class contains what? The bean class contains what? How many argument constructor? Zero argument constructor. Make sure that we have the zero argument constructor. Got the point, right? Remember that point, guys. You should have the zero argument constructor. Why means when you create the object of this class, they are calling setters and getters, right? While calling the setters and getter method, then what happened here? We need to create the object first. While creation of object, it is in zero argument constructor, right? That's what I'm. Yes, sir. No, yeah. For this bean class, we have to create the object. What the object? Emp bean. Tell me, emp bean eb equal to new emp bean like this. We have to create the object. Then eb dot we need to call a set method. But after new keyword, this part is going to how many argument constructor? Zero argument. That's what I'm writing the point. The bean class should have what? Zero argument constructor. Sir, if you are not defined any problem, no problem. Because if you are not defined, which constructor is generated by default? Default is generated. But it should have the default constructor, zero argument constructor or not. Either you defined or compiler defined, but you should have how many argument constructor? Zero argument constructor. Clear? That is the information, guys. Bean class is clear, ma? Yes. Guys, let me run this code. Can you run this code in the Eclipse IDE? Yes, Eclipse IDE, ma. Eclipse IDE, we don't need to write the setter syntax and getter syntax is clear, right? Clear means here we don't need to write the, the class, ma. Directly you can write the emp bean. Click on finish. You should have the properties. Tell me guys, this example, what are the properties we have? ID, name, salary. You want setters and getter, right? How many setters, ma? 3 setters. How many getters? 3 getters. Then how can you make that? Right click, source, generate setters and what, ma? Getters. Source, ma, right click, source. Here right click, ma, simply right click, source, generates what, ma? Getters and setters. How many properties, ma? 3 properties. Select the properties. Click on what? Generate. Generated or not? Yeah, it's automatically generated, but you should have the clarity about the setter and getter. Right? That's the point. Syntax are clear. This is like set id. Argument is there. Converting that local value to what? Instance value, right? Exactly. Second one is what? Getter. Third one is what? Salary. Double, right? Exactly. And this one here, you can take the test client, the class, the test client. Just click on what? Main method. I need to set the data. I need to get the data. Yes, yes or no? I need to create the object of which class then? emp bean, emp bean equal to, tell me new emp bean, right? Exactly. Then we need to set the data. Emp bean dot set to what? Eid, something like 111. Setter methods we need to call. Next one is what? Emp bean dot set ename. So what the name gets definitely Mr. Ratan. Last one is what? Emp bean dot set salary. Salary is how much? 20,000 rupees. These are setters to set the data. Okay, this is like what the point, object creation, right? We know that object creation using how many argument constructor? Tell me. Zero argument constructor. Object creation using what? Zero argument constructor, right? Yeah. What are this one, setters? Setters used to, tell me guys, set the data. Setters are used to set the data, right? Exactly. Sir, I want getters, sir. Getters use it to get the data. Getters are used to what? Get the data, right? Exactly. Setters are used to set the data. Getters are used to what? Get the data. Exactly. Clear? Yeah. How can we call the getter methods? This out control space employee. Can we get employee ID, employee ID plus emp bean dot, tell me emp bean dot what, get eid. Eclipse ID always control space will work na, automatically get the data. Next one is, tell me guys, without control space, emp name, emp name plus emp bean dot, tell me guys, get e salary. Get e name, okay, get e name, right? Exactly. The third one is what ma, without control space. Here we are transfer is what? Employee ID, employee name, and employee salary. Employee salary. Wait, dot 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 is not a syntax, man. Just for printing, just I'm going for that. Huh? Some people are asking after the class, sir, dot dot is how many dots? Sorry, why you are placing 4 dots here, 3 dots here, and very dangerous. Why you are placing what? 4 dots here, 3 dots here. Huh? All should be same dots now. You got the point, right? Yes. Because EMP being that what get is salary, right? That is the information. Okay, clear? This is like object creation process. This is like setters use it to set the data. This is like getters are used to get the data. Are you clear now? Yes. Guys, simply can run this code. You'll get the output. Employee ID, employee name. Tell me guys, employee ID and what? Employee name and employee salary. So you got the clarity. Setters are setting the data. Getters are what? Getters are what getting a data, right? Yes. Any questions? That is the bean class, ma. This bean class. What are rules for the bean class, ma? Total how many rules are written? 5. What are the 5? Read it once. 1, 2, 3, 4. The last one is what? 5. What are 5 rules? Tell me, guys. The bean class is a public class, and the bean class should implement what serializable. Serializable means what? See, the real time we have the layers. Service layer is there, repository layer is there, repository layer, controller layer first, service layer, repository layer. We need to send the object from one layer to another layer. When you want to send the object from one layer to another layer, then that object should be serializable object. Because that object should be what? Serializable object. Then only you can transfer the object. If it is not serializable object, we cannot transfer. It's not like serializable object we can transfer, we cannot transfer. We cannot transfer. You get the point, right? Third point is what the bean class contains what? Private properties. What? Private properties, right? Exactly. I get the point, right? Yes. Where is the point, Yeah, these are the for third point. The Java bean class contains what private properties. These are what non-static properties. Properties non-static properties, right? The class contains public setters and what getter methods. Setters, right? Setters are used to set the data. Syntax is this one. The setter method return type should be void, and argument should be there, and convert that local argument to instance. Getter method means what get the data. These are also known as what XOR methods. Syntax is what get X. The getter method return type should be property type because we need to get the data. We need to get the data. The getter method, any argument is there? No argument because it returns what data. And getter method return value get the return. The getter method return the value using which statement return statement. It contains how many argument construct 0 argument construct. That is called the data, guys. Any questions? This is a client code. Clear? That is the which class this is all about? Java bean class. Oh my god. Very good. Oh, you got the three terms right. What the first term? Tell me, ma. POJO. What the full form of POJO? Plain old Java object. POJI means what? POJO means we cannot extend implement outside class or interfaces, and POJI also same. Java bean class means private properties, public setters and getters contains the public class, zero argument constructor, and what? Right? Now last one is what? Spring bean. A spring bean is given by Spring framework. Spring bean is nothing but Java beans only mostly. A Spring bean is nothing but what? Java beans only. Any object that is managed by Spring, that is called Spring bean. EJB terminology, they are saying like what they are saying like Java beans. EJB terminology. EJB people they are calling it as a Java bean. Spring people they are calling it as a Spring bean. But the point is same. Setters common public properties all are same. Get the point, right? EJB terminology, they are saying which one, Java bean. Spring terminology, what they are saying, Spring beans. But the terminology is what all the properties public. This is not predefined, right? This is not predefined. What I'm saying, initially this bean terminology is given by EJB people. Somewhere, this is the fixed syntax. This is given by standard. This is standard. Private properties, setters, getters, implement, serializable. These are the standards. Fixed syntax. Standard. That standard initially given by EJB people. That is used by Spring people also, but they are saying Java Bina, Spring Bina terminology. You got the point, right? This standard initially given by which people? Spring people, EJB people, EJB people, Enterprise Java Bean people. That's what they call it. It is a Java Bean simply. But Spring people don't use the same term, right? Spring people they are saying what Spring Beans. An object managed by Spring is called Spring Bean. Object managed by Spring is called which one? Spring Bean. The object that is managed by Spring is called Spring Bean. Spring Beans will be handled by IOC container to manage these objects. Java Beans, you are creating object. Tell me, guys, what's the point? Java Beans. Note. What is the note? Java Beans. We are. Tell me, guys. We are creating object. Then we are setting the data. Setting the data and what? Getting the data. But the Spring Bean, who will set the data, get data? IOC container. In Spring Bean, tell me guys, Spring Bean, the Spring IOC container. Like solid, we have a solid container, right? Like Spring have the Spring container. The container name is what? Spring container, Spring IOC container, Spring IOC container. The setting the data, getting the data, who is responsible? Developer responsible. Spring container will take care. Spring container will take care. Just you can view the data. The setters and getters are called by Spring container. Yes or no? The Spring beans. Tell me guys, Spring IOC container. IOC container will create the will set the data and what will set the will create the object and will what create the tell me create the object and set the data. That's it. Any object that is managed by Spring that is called Spring Bean. Spring Bean, are we creating object? Who is creating object? The Spring Beans are maintained by the Spring users IOC container. The Spring uses Spring IOC container to manage the objects. That is called Spring Bean. What is the Spring Bean? The object that is managed by Spring. The object is managed by Spring is called what? It's called which one? Spring, right? Exactly. An object, any object that is managed by Spring is called Spring Bean. Any object that is managed by what? Spring is called Spring Bean. And the Spring Bean will take care by the IOC container. Spring uses what? Spring IOC container to manage these objects. To manage this Spring object, right? Clear? That is the information about. Tell me guys, POJO, POJI, Java Bean, Spring Bean. The objects are managed by Spring is called Spring Bean. In the Spring Bean, Spring uses what? Spring IOC container to manage that beans. EJP people are giving the terminology Java beans. People are giving the terminology is what? Spring Bean, right? Guys, let me place this class note for the today. This is the class notes, right? So very good class notes we written for the rules Case is POJI. Next one is what? POJO. Yes. This is what a Java bean class. Initial terminology is given by EJB, right? Exactly. What the class rules link ma? WordPress.com/Ratan Spring Ratana Spring Ratan Java is a password. Java is what? Password. Today is what ma? Day 3. But setters and getters clearly explained what is a POJO, POJI. The terminology, some people are saying the terminology will confuse again. That's why if I have the clarity about the terminology, then you can start the application simply. Sir, man. Yes, that's the clarity, guys. Thank you, guys. Like the video, comment the video, subscribe to our channel to get the more videos. Bye, guys.